when you came over from football to rugby, I presume you brought some of your expertise, that's why you were brought in, and technology and tricks that you'd used at Old Trafford and Leicester. What were the key things that you transferred across?
I think perhaps we cut the grass shorter. The grass was a lot longer when I first got here, and Clive Woodward spoke to me and he asked if we could have a fast track, and I said yes, of course. So we shortened the grass and we made sure that with more aeration it would be drier given any typical Saturday in the autumn.
Sure.
So perhaps more aeration, cutting the grass shorter, and really I think I'm very lucky I've got a really good staff. Ian Ayling, my deputy, is a really, really good groundsman in his own right, and him and I bounce ideas off one another. We discuss fertiliser plans, we discuss how we're going to approach the season, how we approach this World Cup, and yes, it's my decision and it's my neck on the line if it goes wrong, but it's nice to have a sounding board, a good groundsman to sound things off. And we have Andy Muir, our third member of staff, who's a really good worker and who laughs at me and Ian because we go on about all these technical things, and he says, come on, let's just cut the grass. and it's a good, if I brought, I think the biggest step was the introduction of the lighting rigs.
Okay. And just touching on the size of your team here, and the total size of the team that you have on a, should we call it a non-World Cup year, what would that be?
95% of the time it's Ian, Andy and myself.
Right.
And on Saturday we have two Saturday lads, who are in the 30s by the way, but we
still call them lads.
We call them Saturday lads. And they help out after a game.
Okay.
And we've developed a technique where we play the game on a Saturday. As soon as the game is finished, we get on and hoover the pitch.
Right.
We take off all the debris we can. We cut the grass so that the grass is stood upright and in readiness for next week's game. That's now the target. We then fetch the lighting rigs in from outside, and by 4 hours after the end of the final whistle, the pitch is in complete recovery. And I think that's important because one, I can go home and sleep easy, knowing that I've done everything I can and that the grass is getting ready for next week. And it also buys you time that if there has been a bad scrummage or there has been something gone wrong that's, for whatever reason, sometimes the referee will play a scrum 4 or 5 times in the same place. And you come in on the Sunday morning and you might just throw a bit of grass seed onto that area. Not that it's bare, but just so that grass will be growing under our lights for the next month, and in a month's time it will be brand new again.
Okay. So with the World Cup, do you get any extra help?
We've took on Phil, one of the Saturday lads, full time until November.
Right.
So that we've got the thing with the World Cup is it's a 6 weeks and it's a marathon. It's a marathon, fantastic tournament, and I'm really excited. But you don't want to wear yourself out mentally or physically in September because you've got the whole of October to go. I'm really lucky. We here host 10 games in 6 weeks, which is phenomenal. And I'm so looking forward to it now because it's just going to be the best experience, going worldwide into people's living rooms who don't usually watch sport. Rugby takes it to places in the Commonwealth and in the world that you don't usually go to. And I can't wait. I can't, honestly.
It would be fantastic to have it at home, and if England do well, even better, and I'm sure you'll share some of the celebrations for that. If we can just touch a little bit more on some of the other technological advances that have happened in the game. One of those is Deso and hybrid pitches. Obviously had a huge impact on football. How do you judge their impact on the game of rugby, both now and possibly in the future?
It's interesting because when I first got here to Twickenham, we had a fibre sand pitch, and the fibre sand pitch was very, very good and played very well. And then as it got older, it became less effective.
Right.
And we began looking round 4 years ago for a new pitch, and I looked at I knew about fibre stand, and I looked at fibre elastic,
Yeah.
and I visited Glasgow Rangers, Newcastle United, and Ian and I went across to the Aviva to have a look at the Aviva, which at that time was fibre elastic. And I knew in the back of my mind I was trying to better Desso.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do, not for any devious reason, but that was the benchmark.
Yeah. And as a top groundsman, you're going to need to move forward, aren't you?
And after I'd done all them miles, I visited Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal and Wembley, and decided I'm going Desso.
Okay.
And the advantage it gives you is that it drains so well. Drainage,
Okay.
the weather is the biggest thing in my life, is the weather. The stability that the strands of polypropane give you is phenomenal. The scrummage is a mean thing for turf. I think it's second only to perhaps going over a ground with horses.
Right.
Because you think of the compaction and the traction and the power and the weight of 2 scrums.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And we're asking a grass plant that's it's in December, doesn't really want to be played on, it might have had frost on in the morning, and then Keith Kent's put water on in the afternoon. It's baffled. The Desso system just takes away the heartache and the pain that it's going to give way. We can wear a Desso pitch out, you could play on it when it's bare,
Yeah.
but it still will not cut up and it will not divot. So that is and I think the Desso system, there's new systems coming into play.
Yeah.
The cis grass that Alan Ferguson's had put in at St George's.
St George's. He was telling us about that recently.
Yeah, I've been speaking to Alan myself,
Right.
because that's what I do. I
Okay.
try and keep up with technology, and I just feel that at this present time, the Desso is the best system in the world.